Good morning, Story Trading VIPs. We have a lot to cover for those of you who are inside the VIP trading room. So let me just grab those so I can reference, make sure I don't miss anything. But okay, so in any case, yesterday was just terrible, right? QQQ SPY, I think it was like the worst day in over 2 years for the QQQ, down over 5%. Now, if you look at the major, the moving averages and everything, look, it held this level right here. It was a double support. It was a 9.6, the close on 9.6, and also right here, the close on July 26th. It held that yesterday, at least temporarily, but there's obviously downside potential to the lows, and same story with SPY. Now, the story of the CPI is the core CPI was too high, and now it's being priced in a 30% chance of a 100 BIP increase by the Fed next week. If we do get 100 bips, 1%, I don't think that's priced in, and we really dramatically increases the odds that we retest those lows if they do go 100 bips next week. Now, there was some other data that came in. Was it UK CPI? Yeah, UK CPI came in unexpectedly lower because of energy prices. So at 9.9%. I don't have it in front of me what was expected, but it did come in a little bit better than expected. We had PPI coming in very similar to CPI, with the headlines being in line and the core being a little bit above expected. So no major news on all of that. We're continuing to look at TLT UUP down. Interesting. So that's good. That's a proxy for what people may expect of interest rates. Monitoring oil. Now, macro, there's some other things to be aware of. The rail strike, I put an article out there. So that railroad strike could have a huge supply chain impact on especially certain products like grains, coal, fertilizer, potash, and it could increase energy prices and agriculture prices because of that, and hurt inflation more. So I think that can possibly kick in Friday. So check out the article I put in to see what the Biden administration is trying to do to maybe avoid that. But right now, I don't see any progress in the last couple of days that can be avoided. So that's another risk here that can possibly exacerbate or increase the odds that we head to the downside. Okay. Now, yesterday, we'll get to these individual stocks now, and you can see we're monitoring all the coal and potash stocks that were taking a hit the last couple of days because of that possible rail strike. All right, we're going to get into our 2 outperformers yesterday. We got air early in the morning. I jumped in myself at 14.50. We'll get to that in a second. CFVI continue to outperform. We'll talk about that. First, I want to mention a couple news items. Comcast, a huge, big company, telecom company, $150 billion market cap, announcing a $20 billion buyback. It's actually doubling it from $10 billion to $20 billion. So I don't know much about this stock. Just wanted to put that out there in case you're interested in Comcast, in case you know the fundamentals on the 5-year chart. Looks like we're near a triple bottom over there. But that's something that could potentially spark a move in the stock today, increasing that buyback by $10 billion. We also have PANW with a 3-for-1 split. That's a very hot sector. Cybersecurity, it's been great all year. So if you're into that, take a look. Just want to keep you informed. Now, let's start with our 2 outperformers from yesterday, CFVI and AIR, and then we'll dig into some other news. So CFVI, remember in the early morning, I actually sold most of my trading position. At some point after the open, I sold all of my trading position because of expected volatility going into the vote. However, I bought back a bunch of trading shares right here, right below $12, and it worked out pretty well. I did sell a bunch of it at $12.50. I still own a bunch of those trading shares. Why did I buy back? I bought back because the Rumble account tweeted out, actually, I think it was maybe even Chris Pavlovsky tweeted out, check out this interview with the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald, Howard Lutnick. So I quickly jumped in and looked at that interview. It's amazing. You can get, like, a lot of times the Rumble people are tweeting things out before they make PRs out of them. This one didn't have an associated PR, but very often you'll get the tweets before the PRs. Gives you a little bit of an edge. And if you're quick to the nuggets that are coming out during the day on their Twitter accounts, you can also get an edge. So I quickly looked at this 7-minute interview with Howard Lutnick, CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald. And there were two pieces of information in that which made me short-term bullish, at least for a day trade. And I gave that to you guys in real time. Those two new nuggets were that he was confidently speaking about the vote passing on Thursday. No hesitation, no imploring. Oh, if you're retail, you got to vote. So this is one of the risks that we saw with DWAC, that they couldn't get enough people to vote because there's a high retail base. So one of the risks going into the vote was, hey, it might not pass, and you go right to $10, which is one reason why I wanted to reduce going into this vote. So not only did through the way he was talking, his confidence seemed to take that off the table, but he also definitively spoke about rum trading on Friday, a day after the vote. Now, that's a new piece of news because when I interviewed Chris Pawlowski, he really wasn't sure about the timing of when rum would be trading after the vote, and it seemed he was suggesting it could be several days or a couple weeks possibly. So that really de-risked it because it took one of the negative scenarios, I think, off of the table. I think Howard Ludwig, is that his name? Howard Lutnick knows that they have enough votes for this to pass. And obviously, they already have the logistics in place with the stock market or whatever they have to do to get rum quickly trading. So that really de-risked it. And again, I bought back in right below 12. I sold some of the 1250 resistance, and I'm holding the rest of my trading shares right here at 1350, 1318. 1350 roughly is the next resistance. You can see the hive day at 1372 and 1356. I just round it down for psychological reasons to the nearest $0.50 there. So 1350 is your resistance number for today. Man, I still got to expect the possibility of a sell-off. Sell the news if the vote goes through, but you never know. Like, it could be, maybe this is underpriced because people thinking, hey, the deal's not going to pass. When it passes, it goes up. But we did have that presentation yesterday here with Chris Tuttle of SPACVest talking about the valuation, fundamental valuation for Rumble CFVI. And I agree with most of his calculations. Like, this maybe fundamentally is a $5 stock, right? But that doesn't mean that's going to be the market value. And it doesn't mean the market value can't, in a permanent, indefinite way, trade above what fundamentalists would calculate on a spreadsheet because of sentiment and because other market participants have a much bigger vision of what the TAM can be and much bigger optimism about how they can, blow away those whatever's on a spreadsheet. We can do double, triple, there are going to be people like that. That's sentiment. And that's why it might not ever reach prices like $5, $6, $7. I hope it does. I am taking some off the table so I can buy back below $10 if that happens. So be aware of that. The vote is tomorrow, 10 a.m. Now, moving to AIR. AIR had really good news yesterday morning. I jumped in pre-market at $14.50 as a trade. Because of market conditions. I was like, I don't know that I want to increase my core positions in anything at the moment with the market. My target was the 20 DMA at 1570. I sold at 1569 and it blew through it. Now it's opening above the 20 DMA. Look, the news is really important. And I think long term, it de-risks AIR. It increases the lower price, the bottom. It increases how high it can go. But okay, let's be clear about what this is. This is another major semiconductor manufacturer like onsemi. So it's huge, but it's a qualification deal, right? Testing the equipment. And it's going to take 3 to 6 months to validate it. And then maybe we get the big orders confirmation. We get the big orders in May. Now, based on the fact they already have onsemi, that gives me very high confidence that they're going to ultimately get that deal. So I think this is really good for the stock long term. I think once they get those deals in, March to May neighborhood, this stock probably will go into the $25 range again, maybe challenge those all-time highs because of what that means for its revenue on the bottom line. Again, I was just surprised with the market down 1,200 points yesterday and the NASDAQ down over 5%. That the stock reacted so well. So perhaps I lost an opportunity there because I was being very cognizant of what the market was doing. So I will be actually looking at maybe adding this to my core position on pullbacks, maybe selling puts. You can see the RSI is pretty low. The MACD wants to flip soon. It's just unbelievable to see this kind of chart and setup in context of the rest of the market. So it's hard to get excited when the market is the way it is, but that's what the chart is telling us. So air continuing to outperform. All right, let's go to before I go into a couple of these here, I just do want to mention down here. I forgot to put it at the top. LEU is a uranium, not a uranium stock, a nuclear energy stock, part of the nuclear energy supply chain. Just recently, I added it to my watch list just recently, and I saw news come out this morning: $320 million in new sales contracts and commitments. Now, a lot of that has been over the last 12 months, like $270 million year to date. It's not like a new contract they just got. $270 million in the first 9 months. And this is for deliveries over the next like 6 years or something, if you look at the full press release. So not as impactful as maybe the headline seems to suggest, but with a market cap of $700 million, definitely momentum in the nuclear space. That's something we can collaborate more on. I don't have a position. Definitely want to hear more about it from Matt or others in the community. Another nuclear stock to add to our growing portfolio of great nuclear names. Okay, now going back to our list, SEAC, I'm still in this. I got this between 45 and 50 cents. I think 45 was my first purchase. I bought more 50. I'm not sure what my average is. Seem to be two great catalysts, but look, this is a micro cap. It's a penny stock. It's a risk asset, and the market the way it is, it's selling off. But they just flipped to not profitability, but they got to break even. That sequential growth. They have a big cash. I think it's like 25 cents cash, no debt. And they just did this deal with Dish. I mean, if this was a different time, if this was last year, this stock probably would be like 80 cents in like a day or less. So I don't know. I'm hanging on, hoping that some people discover the stock and push it up, or hoping there's an insider buy, because there has been some insider buys recently. And now with the earnings just being reported, maybe we do get some insider buying action on SEAC. Celsius holding $100 there. I really like the stock still for the long term. My analysis hasn't changed. Of course, it dropped below the 20 DMA because of market conditions, so that's not fun. FREY, these were my two picks for the week, which obviously not totally working out, but holding up very well. FREY, this is EV battery. By the way, I put an article into the VIP trading room. Biden today is unveiling the first or releasing the first tranche of $900 million to build EV charging networks throughout the country. So I'm not sure which company specifically will benefit. I know we have like CHPT, EV charging company. We have Wallbox. We have VLTA. You can see some action in Wallbox this morning. CHPT, again, some positive action in there. Volta, probably the lowest quality one of these three that I'm aware of, down to $2. So maybe those move. Also, it's just maybe a sentiment for the entire EV sector, including EV batteries, lithium, and EV stocks potentially as Biden gets out there. And there's going to be news surrounding that later today. All right. What else are we looking at? Oh, GANX. We had the presentation on Monday night. Again, if you're a VIP, you can go over to that VIP announcements room and find the credentials to see the replay on that. There's going to be a Catalyst Saturday. Hopefully that Catalyst is good. If you want to play that, perhaps now is the time. You can see the 200 DMA over there. No guarantees. All right. TFFP. We had Dan Carlson on yesterday morning talking about upcoming catalysts for this stock. So we're closely monitoring that one for news. ALTO pulled back with the market. So I got in this. So I'm down a little bit. This is the one that they had a big share buyback, 50 million share buyback, the profitable company. I think in the agriculture space, 5 PE. So that's something I'm going to be monitoring. I think I want to get out of that, honestly, because I don't know much about it. That was something I just bought because of the headlines. So don't like to hold those for a long time since I'm not familiar with it that much. All right, SMSI, really good relative strength the last few days. So we're continuing monitoring that and waiting for news. QUIK. Okay. QUIK here. Look at this. There could be a buying opportunity because it slipped below the 20 DMA yesterday. You know, the news at $7 million Department of Defense contract, which could be worth up to $72 million for this very small micro cap. This one, maybe if market conditions are bad enough, you can get a deal here. Maybe it goes back to where it was before. Like, what's the low day? 650 here. Maybe it touches the 200 DMA, 613, 650. this is something I'd be interested in picking up because I did sell some on the spike, got in early, sold at least 50% of my trading shares up here at good prices. So if this drops down to, again, 650 or lower, maybe 673, 675. I don't like going into the middle of no man's land though. Like once they're between these two moving averages, often at times it's like a magnet. So if you're gonna get as low as like 675, like I think the chances really increase to go to like 615 to 650. So I don't know. That's something I'm going to be monitoring for perhaps possible re-entry. And that's about it. We're monitoring our big list of stocks here. There's a massive list of stocks that we know a little bit about. Listen, I wanted to just quickly bring up CFVI again to explain a little bit about story trading and what we're trying to do here. A lot of people will look at charts like this and say, this is chaos. None of this is explainable, right? And the whole idea behind the story trading brand and everything we try to do in the story trading community, we want to put that on its head. We want to say, no, the market is not chaotic. The market makes sense. It's understandable. Each of these big movements have a reason behind it. And I believe those who pay attention closely and follow the stocks I know best and that our community knows best, we're able to explain almost every tick. And because we know it so well, we can even predict what the very short-term, near-term price action is going to be. You see it in real time. So it's an easy out to say that maybe you don't want to. Maybe you don't want to get in the weeds, right? You don't want to understand the short-term movements. That's fine, right? But doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. If you don't understand the price action, it's because you haven't done your homework. And what we're trying to do with story trading is bring enough people together so we have a critical mass of people participating so we can understand the price action. So let's continue doing that in the VIP rooms. I can't do it all right? I'm doing this as an example for what story trading could mean. We're trying to scale this pretty soon with our own app, so it's going to be completely user generated, and we'll get that wisdom of the community and start annotating charts automatically to show you why stocks are moving, right? So it goes back to what I always say at story trading. Some people take exception when I say markets are efficient. You don't like that wording? We can change it to markets make sense. Markets are rational, okay? And oh my God, they're rational. Yeah, because emotions are rational, because we're human beings. So to get excited about a stock because of some news, that's rational that the price goes up. To get pessimistic about a stock because of some news, that's rational that the price goes down. So everything makes sense, right? And I think people overestimate the impact of algorithms. Humans program algorithms. Not only that, a lot of these algorithms, they're just trading the stock back and forth throughout the day. The net, the thing that caused the net movement up or the net movement down is human beings making decisions on, I want to buy this stock today because XYZ. I want to sell this stock today because XYZ. So when we get together and look at specific stocks, hyper focus on it, and get a critical mass of information into it, it gives us a huge edge in being able to understand and predict short-term price movements and even long-term price movements. So I think CFVI, another great example. Yesterday, we get these examples a lot, but look, I got in this 5 minutes before the thing moved up because I understood that a possible risk that people worried about, we knew all the details. We knew DWAC not getting enough votes. So we knew a possible risk is they're not going to get enough votes. It's going to go to $10. When the CEO of CFVI comes out and says, definitively sounds like he's saying it's going to pass and we're going to be trading his rum on Friday, that de-risks it. People pile in. So everything has a reason. Markets make sense. No doubt about it. So, all right, guys, that's my thoughts for the day. So today at 4:30 p.m. we'll be on Zoom. If you're a VIP member, we'll put the link up there in the VIP announcements room. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And please give us all those nuggets in the room so we can get smarter collectively and make better decisions. Looking forward.